Parasite is a new exotic grenade launcher put into Destiny 2 as part of the Witch Queen DLC, and this one has to be one of the most unique weapons in the game. This thing shoots Hive Worms and they explode on impact, and today I'm going to have a closer look at the weapon itself, so the perks, and I'm going to go into detail about how to get Parasite, including all the quest steps post-campaign in the Witch Queen. Well, if you're new around here, I find this useful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below for all the latest Destiny 2 content, and turn on notifications by hitting that bell. And roughly 98% of viewers who watch This Week in Video Games aren't subscribed, so subscribe today and never miss an update. But it is worth bearing in mind before we go ahead that this quest is after the main campaign in the Witch Queen, so be careful for spoilers if you haven't yet played through the campaign, so consider this your spoiler warning, as some of the quest steps may give away crucial details that you may not want to be spoiled on. If you don't mind, then feel free to continue. Well, first things first, let's have a look at the weapon in a little bit more detail. So Parasite is an exotic grenade launcher in the power slot, and it's got some really fun perks, including Worm's Hunger. So this weapon fires Hive Worms that explode on impact, and the size and the damage of the explosions scale with the number of enemies you defeated just before firing the weapon. Then we got Worm Byproduct, so taking damage from your own worm projectile detonation empowers your weapons for a short time. Also, it's a 120 RPM grenade launcher with one in the magazine. Well, next up, let's have a look at how to get Parasite, and we've got a quest called Of Queens and Worms. So let's check out how to get that grenade launcher. So step 1, what you want to do is finish the Witch Queen campaign. So once you finish the main campaign in the Witch Queen, you can have a debrief with Ikora, and she'll give you the exotic quest called Of Queens and Worms, and she'll tell you to go and have a chat with Marasov in the Enclave. Well, step 2, speak to Mara. So here, you're going to get a nice cutscene with Mara talking about Savathun's worm. It's dying, but it still might be useful for us given its knowledge of the collapse. And Mara suggests she puts her body forward as a new host, and our ghost is pretty shocked by that. But after the chat with Mara, she then directs you to a new strike. Well, step 3 is complete the birthplace of the Vile Strike. So for this step of the quest, you simply need to complete the strike, and you can select this from the Throne World map. So run through the strike as per normal. Once you complete the strike, it's back to the Throne World to speak to Finch. Well, next up, as I say, speak to Finch. So head back to the Throne World, I think it's the Quagmire, and have a chat with Finch. He'll tell you about the Cryptoglyph rune in the Temple of Cunning. Well, that is the next step. So step 5, find the Cryptoglyph rune in the Temple of Cunning. So here you can use the quest and select it to add some tracking. It's going to help make navigating to the area much easier. So follow the marker on your map, and you'll eventually reach the point where you have to fight waves of Scorn. So keep fighting the waves, and I think you've got 3 waves here, and one that looks like the Fanatic from Forsaken. So kill the waves of Scorn, then it's on to the next step of the quest. Well, next up, step 6, so defeat Scorn in the Throne World. Well, next up we have to kill 100 Scorn, and you can do this anywhere on the Throne World itself. So I found this useful to go back to the surface and find public events. Then the game basically delivers Scorn to you, rather than having to go and hunt them down all over the Throne World. So that is a nice little tip there, it makes it a little bit more efficient. Well, step 7, you want to find the Sepulcher Lost Sector. So now we've got to find the Lost Sectors on the Throne World, and we start off with the first one, and that is Sepulcher. So this is going to be marked on your map, so use the marker and it will help you navigate your way there. Once you get there, you want to look out for the Lost Sector icon, so it's below 2 buildings that are on either side of you. So what you want to do is jump down onto the red flowers and you'll find the Lost Sector. So make your way then through the Lost Sector, killing all the enemies as you go, and at the end you're going to find the Larvae Incubator, and what you want to do is put the worm in there. Well, step 8 is complete 3 patrols in the Fluorescent Canal. So after the speech by the worm, head up to the surface and complete the 3 patrols. So these are little nodes that stick out of the ground, and you can find them easily if you get your ghost out. They're going to be indicated by icons on the screen. The different icons mean different types of patrols, so it should be pretty quick and straightforward. Once you've done that, it's on to the next step of the quest. Well, step 9, we've got to find another Cryptoglyph rune in the Queen's Bailey this time. So once you've completed the patrols, and it's the same as before, head to the marker, so face down waves of enemies and you're going to find that Cryptoglyph rune. So be wary here as you do face off against a light-bearing Lucent Hive. They can be tricky if you aren't leveled up. Well, next up, step 10, so find the Metamorphosis Lost Sector in Miasma. So, same as before, find the Metamorphosis Lost Sector by using the quest and the map marker, and look for the Lost Sector icon when you are at the location. Well, step 11 is complete the Lost Sector, so make your way to that Lost Sector, beat the enemies and the boss, and use the larvae incubator once again at the end. Well, step 12, we're going through that cycle once again, so find the Cryptoglyph rune in the Alluring Curtain region this time of the Throne World. So make your way to the Alluring Curtain, and you can use that quest marker on the map. Head there, fight the waves, although this time there's no cache to be found, but you do have to solve a little puzzle. So step 13, find the hidden cache. So head outside, and you're going to need to use your deep sight to reveal some platforms. So on 3 of these platforms are torches, and you want to shoot the torches with your weapon to light them. So light all 3, then the hidden cache will be revealed, and inside will be the rune that you are looking for. Well, next up we've got step 14, so find the Extraction Lost Sector. So you'll be happy to hear this is the last Lost Sector you have to find, and use the same method as before, so a combination of the quest marker and your map. Now this one is nice and easy to find in the Quagmire, as it's also near that landing zone too, and you have to go to that location, use the deep sight, and then walk down the platform and into the cave. Well, next up we've got step 15, so complete the Extraction Lost Sector. So fairly simple this one, work your way through the Lost Sector, beat the boss, and use the final larvae incubator. Well, step 16, speak to Finch to have a chat with our friendly Hive Ghost near the landing point in the Quagmire on the Throne World. And then Finch will direct you to the final step of the quest. So step 17, complete the Parasitic Pilgrimage mission. So here we've got the final part of the quest, and it's got some pretty good mechanics. So all you have to do is put the worm down in a pool. You have to be quick, and there's plenty of things that are going to kill you, but it is doable after a few tries. And what you can do is follow along on the video on the screen, and I'll show you how to do it.
And they call you a god. Faster! Sweet relief. Glad you're...
So after you've done this, you're going to need to collect some Hive Light. This is fairly straightforward, but then you need to make your escape. Then you've got the final part of the quest, where Mara performs a ritual, and you get to try out the Parasite itself. Well, congratulations, you now own Parasite, and this is one of the most unique weapons in the game. So overall, I'd say it's a fun weapon. I'm not really sure if I'd seriously use it for DPS reasons. Not when I've got something like Galahorn or Sleeper, but if grenade launchers get buffed in the future, then it may well be viable. For now, I think it's quite a niche weapon. It is thematically similar to Touch of Malice, though probably not quite as useful. Well, let me know in the comments what you think of Parasite, and do you think you're going to be using it outside the novelty value? Well, that is it for this guide for how to get Parasite in Destiny 2, and as always, thank you so much for watching. For more Destiny 2 content like this, hit that subscribe button down below and subscribe to This Week in Video Games. or you can follow me on Twitter at TWIVG Podcast. If you enjoyed this video and found it useful, liking and sharing the video would really help me out. Otherwise, check out the other videos on the channel. Well, thanks again, and I'll see you soon.